At first glance, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage feels like a grounded, small-scale story about two young adults navigating marriage and parenthood in Texas. It doesn't have whiteboards filled with equations or Nobel Prize ambitions. It doesn't revolve around theoretical physics or Pasadena apartments. But if you look closer, Georgie and Mandy's marriage quietly lays essential groundwork for the emotional world of The Big Bang Theory. The connection isn't about plot mechanics. It's about character infrastructure. One of the biggest long-running threads in The Big Bang Theory is Sheldon's complicated relationship with his family, particularly his older brother. When Georgie appears in the original series, he carries visible resentment. He talks about stepping up financially after their father's death. He hints at sacrifices. For years, those lines existed as backstory. But watching Georgie enter marriage early, take on fatherhood, and shoulder responsibility in Young Sheldon and its spin-off transforms that backstory into something tangible. Georgie and Mandy's marriage shows us the fork in the road between the brothers. While Sheldon leaves home to pursue academia, Georgie stays. He builds a life rooted in obligation and immediacy. He doesn't get the luxury of intellectual isolation. He has rent to pay, a child to raise, a spouse to support. That contrast becomes foundational to understanding why adult Georgie sees himself as the one who held everything together. His marriage isn't just a romantic storyline, it's the beginning of the weight he carries into The Big Bang Theory. Their relationship also subtly sets up Sheldon's emotional arc. In The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon struggles deeply with intimacy, compromise, and vulnerability. His eventual marriage to Amy represents years of incremental growth. By contrast, Georgie's marriage to Mandy is immediate and pressure-driven. It's accelerated adulthood. Watching Georgie navigate emotional missteps, pride, and communication breakdowns provides a thematic counterpoint to Sheldon's slower development. It shows two brothers learning about love in completely different environments. That difference matters because it shapes the tone of the franchise moving forward. By the later seasons of The Big Bang Theory, the show is less about nerd culture jokes and more about relationships. Marriage becomes central. Leonard and Penny's instability, Howard and Bernadette's parenting adjustments, Sheldon and Amy's compromise-driven evolution, all of it revolves around partnership. Georgie and Mandy's marriage feels like an early blueprint for that tonal shift. It proves that this universe can sustain grounded, domestic storytelling without losing its comedic rhythm. There's also the element of sacrifice. One of the most striking aspects of Georgie and Mandy's marriage is how it reframes ambition. Georgie doesn't chase prestige. He chases stability. He hustles. He adapts. He grows through responsibility rather than accolades. Sheldon, on the other hand, is propelled by academic achievement. The existence of Georgie's grounded adult life allows Sheldon's later success to stand in sharper relief. It shows what was left behind in order for that success to happen. Without Georgie anchoring the family in Texas, Sheldon's trajectory might have looked very different. Their marriage also deepens the emotional stakes of future conflicts. When adult Georgie confronts Sheldon in The Big Bang Theory, it's not just sibling rivalry. It's accumulated years of divergent paths. Watching Georgie build and strain within his first marriage adds nuance to his later weariness. It explains the guarded confidence he carries. It gives context to the frustration beneath his humor. Even thematically, Georgie and Mandy's relationship expands the franchise's scope. The Big Bang Theory often framed intelligence as power. Georgie and Mandy's story reframes resilience as power. It suggests that surviving adulthood, paying bills, raising children, enduring miscommunication, requires its own kind of brilliance. That idea enriches the entire universe. And perhaps most importantly, their marriage humanizes the world beyond Sheldon. For years, Sheldon's perspective dominated. His logic shaped scenes. His interpretations influenced how we viewed other characters. Georgie and Mandy's marriage pulls the lens outward. It invites viewers to see the Cooper family from a different emotional angle. That broader perspective makes Sheldon's eventual growth in The Big Bang Theory feel more meaningful because we understand the relational gaps he must bridge. So when we talk about paving the way, it's not about direct plot setup. It's about emotional architecture. Georgie and Mandy's marriage builds the emotional scaffolding that supports the Big Bang Theory's later seasons. It contextualizes Georgie's resentment. It contrasts Sheldon's development. It reinforces the franchise's eventual focus on adult partnership. And it reminds us that behind every genius story is a family story, one shaped by compromise, sacrifice, and imperfect love. In that way, A Young Marriage in Texas becomes the quiet foundation for a sitcom about physicists in California.